Hi. What? Yeah, what does his face look like? He's so cute. I'm going to speak into this. What? It's on. I already did. No, I want to be in the picture. You're supposed to be in the picture. Hear you on the microphone. Yay, you're so cute. Oh, don't talk into the microphone. Hi. Don't speak into there. Hello, everyone. What? No. I did it. Then you do it. I did it. Are you there? Yes, I did. Do it. Hi. Do it like. No, you do it. No, you do it. First you do it. No. 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 You have to go sit down here. You have to go sit down. What are you doing? You have to go sit down.
Right?
No, you're not. No, you're not. My dad. Your dad. You have to go sit down. But my mom said I could stay. Okay?
Where's my towels? I forgot my towels.
We're going to begin on time. Well, on our time. Standard time. I'm going to put my jacket back on. I'm not cool. It's all in your head, people. Shabbat Shalom. Do us a favor and please, I know this is our regular Friday night crowd and all, and that you all know each other, but in the event that you may not know someone sitting around you, please take a moment to wish Shabbat Shalom to a new face. Just watch this mother cry the entire service. Hey, do you guys want to sit on the beamer? You want to sit up here? You sure?
That is scary.
I kind of feel like you and you and you could go sit next to Ronnie, and I'll send the Sidebergs over to this side. Would you do that?
No, that's unbelievable.
I want the and Colleen, you can't, no, just stay there. Oh my God, I forgot a pick.
What?
All right, everyone, I'm a
What?
hot mess. I'm forgetting everything. What'd you forget? Talk amongst yourselves for 2 more seconds. So great to be together tonight and to mark this very special moment in the history of Congregation Beth Israel and of our community, and to get us started with the blessing over Shabbat candles. I want to invite Rachel, Keller, and Lisa Keller, and Lisa's mom. Please come up, and the boys. And while everyone's coming up, I wanted to just take a second to welcome to our Bima Carol and Ken Seidberg. Carol is a member of our board of directors, and also it's always awesome to have Eric Rendelman with us on the Bima for a little percussion.
It's a breeze right there. You have to move it back a little. I'll have to move it back a little.
We're good. Okay, so just move the whole thing up about 6 inches and we'll be totally fine. Here, I'll do it. Here we go. Don't worry about this. I got it. There we go. See? It's a matter of inches. It's a game of inches. It's like golf.
Amen.
No
Well, no what?
Hito River.
No terror?
No, just the first
Just the
one.
first two. Okay. Did it go out again?
138. Ya la 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 l'chagodi. Ya la 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 l'gat kala. Ya la 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 b'nei Shabbat. B'nei Shabbat v'kabel. Ya la 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 l'chagodi. Ya la 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 l'gat kala. Ya la 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 b'nei Shabbat. B'nei Shabbat v'kabel.
Paragraph number 1.
Shamor v'zachor v'nurecha yishmi'anu el hamiuchad Adonai echad u'shmo echad Shemo tiferet
Paragraph number 9. We stand and face to all welcome the Shabbat bride.
Azeret bara וגם בשמחה ובצורה תוך אמונה על סגולה בואי חלה בואי חלה
Please be seated. Continue with Psalm 92, 140.
Shetu
Chatzi Kaddish 144.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה,
אמן.
ומועד יברח ירותי וימליך מלכותי, בחייכון וביומכון, ובחיי לכל בית ישראל, בגלה בגלה, ובזמן קרים רו, אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך, בעולם ליומי המיה יתברך, יתברך, וישתבח, ויפרש שמו וינשא, ויתהדר, ויתעלה, ויתהלל, שמי לקודשה בריחו, ולא מכל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דמירן בעלמא ואמרו.
Amen. If you are observing Shiva or Shloshim, the immediate 7 or 30-day mourning period, and wish to stand and be acknowledged, please do so at this time. Together we stand for the Baruch Hu 146. For making night 148 together with Ma'ariv Aravim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bidvaro Ma'ariv Aravim v'chokhma poteach she'arim uvitvuna meshane itim umachalif et hazmanim umesader et hakochavim v'mishmerotehem barakia kirtzono. בורא יום ולילה, כולל אור מפני חושך, וחושך מפני אור, ומעביר יום ומעביר לילה, ומבדיל בין יום ובין לילה, אדוני צבאות שמו. אל חי וקיים, תמיד ימלוך עלינו לעולם ועד, ברוך אתה אדוני המעריב ערבים. 151. At the bottom we'll alternate paragraphs. Wisdom and wonder, passion and instruction, story and symbol, all these things your Torah gives to us. The more we devote ourselves to it, the more it grows and gives. What could be a truer token of your abiding love? In this holiest of your works, a living language that gives it form. Baruch atah Adonai, ohev amo Yisrael. 152.
My Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. My Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. My Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. My Yisrael,
on page 154.
ואהבת
את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ולכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרת מאוד על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובישעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, הייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם, אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם אלוהים, אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אלוהיכם אמת. Page 157 at the top, together in the English. Standing on departed shores of history, we still believe what we were taught, wherever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there's no way to get from here to there except by joining hands, marching together. 158.
better.
158.
שנאמר, כי פד אדוני את יעקב, וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו, ברוך אתה אדוני, גאל ישראל.
161, at the top, we read together. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Adonai, help us to walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts and eternity in our thoughts. We may lie down in peace and rise up waiting to do your will. Baruch Ata Adonai, haporeh sukat shalom aleinu, ועל כל עמו ישראל ועל ירושלים. 162.
ושמרו
בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורות ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורות ברית עולם.
ביני ובין בני ישראל, אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם.
ושמרו לעשות את השבת לדורות ברית עולם.
כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורות ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורות ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורות ברית עולם.
עולה.
It never gets old.
The Ole doesn't get, because you get this thing at the end. But
It's getting better, too.
It's really, it's good.
It's got the calluses. Not even on my fingers. Hey now.
We're going to move on. Amidah, 164, together we stand.
Ya la 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 la, 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 ya la 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 la. Adonai sefatai titach, ufi akit ilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. La 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la. La 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 la, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei Avoteinu v'Imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, ve'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, V'Hanorah. חסדים טובים בקוני הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר מושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם בעזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע, מוריד הטל, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה ונאמן אתה לחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש.
Please be seated. We continue on the top of page 173. We read together, "May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who are hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. And may this day fulfill its promise. Baruch Ata Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat." We take some time now for our own silent prayers, thoughts, and meditations.
Shalom Rabbi Israel Tasir Le'olam. Shalom Rabbi Israel Tasir Le'olam. Shalom Rabbi Israel Tasir
Think of those in our community who are in need of healing, physical, emotional, or spiritual healing. Wish a refuah shlema, speedy recovery to Wendy Adler, Bel Shoshana, Bat Rachel, Leah, Chana, Tova, Bat Yehudit, Chaya, Bat Yeta, Rachel, Christine Kobo, Ronald Diamond, Eliyahu, Ben Rachel, Sarah, Benny May Epstein, Eda, Rachel, Bat Razel, Yehudit, Steve Friedman, Nala Goldschmidt, Tina Gomberg, Dan Hale, Chasha Etel, Bat Meir, Robert Leonard, Joel Levin, Mara Linder, Roger Marshall, Scott Martin, Moshe Ben Talma, Mesoda Bat Sylvia, Ken Mesa, Reuven Ben Chaya, Shelley Raffleson, Shmulik Ben Esther, Shulamit Leah, Bat Sharon, Donald Shaw, Robert Switsky, David Valancy, Ida Worgan, Miriam Weinberg, Nathan Willett, and any name you would like to share at this time. Shbeach Avotenu v'imotenu Avraham, Yitzchak v'Yaakov, Sarah, Rivka, Chel v'Leah, v'varech et hacholim. הקדוש ברוך הוא ימלא רחמים עליהם, להחלימם, להפותם, להחזיקם, וישלח להם מרעה רפואה שלמה מן השמיים, רפואת הנפש ורפואת הגוף, השתה בגלה בזמן קריב, ונאמר אמן. And the one who blessed our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Becca, Rachel, and Leah, bless and heal those who are ill. May the Blessed Holy One be filled with compassion, for their health be restored, and their strength be revived. May God swiftly send them a complete renewal of body and spirit, as together we say,
Amen.
Amen.
You can be seated now.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. First of all, I know how honored and joyful Ronnie and Lisa and Aviv and Leor and Lisa's parents and Ronnie's mom feel to have so many people here with us tonight as the months and the weeks wind down toward the end of school and we begin to celebrate graduations in college and high school. They even have graduations, I understand, for pre-kindergarten at Beth Israel earlier this week. It's nice to have such a large part of our congregation of people who I know are dear to the Kellers with us this evening. And one of the wonderful things over these last few weeks, and I am sure that there were so many more people that I could have invited to speak from the Bima tonight. I got the honor of picking a few people who I thought fit different generations. When you're in a congregation for 13 years, there are people who you worked with on bar and bat mitzvahs who are now out earning a living. There are kids who you named who are now becoming bar and bat mitzvahs. 13 is sort of a cycle for us as Jews. And so there are different people from different parts of this journey who I have asked to prepare some words and some comments, and each for a reason that is my own and Rabbi Keller's own. And I know he does not know who, other than our president of the board, who I'll be calling up first, who's been invited. And so in the following order, I would like to invite the following people up to the Bima to share some thoughts and some anecdotes. And I know we will have some laughs and some tears. And I know from personal experience, Rabbi Keller, that you will never be able to remember any of this. But as opposed to for others of us who have left congregations, there is now video and live stream and recordings, and you'll be able to go back and watch it. So it's a pleasure to call upon the following people. Gail Baer, the president of our board of directors. Aaron Lieberman, who is not with us, but is having his Ozo sister, Marin Gordon, our assistant camp director, read on his behalf a speech that he prepared. Erev Rabbi Randy Burke and Maddie Garber. And then me. And then we'll allow Ronnie to give his rebuttal. Go. Have fun.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
There's a concept of which I know we are all too familiar, appropriately called the Jewish goodbye. And basically, it's when you start your goodbyes at a gathering and end up walking out the door no less than 30 minutes later. Because we don't like saying goodbye, but that's in our DNA. Nonetheless, in the most Jewish way we know how, here we are, beginning our goodbyes to our dear beloved Rabbi Keller as you and your family begin your new chapter. Rabbi Keller, you have bestowed many gifts on this congregation, too numerous to mention them all tonight. But we'd like to thank you for one gift in particular, which for many of us clearly stands above the rest. You helped make our greatest gift, our Torah, open for us all to learn. Now, of course, the Torah has always been accessible to the Jewish people, but I know I speak for many of our dear congregants that you have inspired us not to tiptoe, but to take that very, very deep dive, to study often, to ask questions, and to find meaning. Rabbi, you make our study, our engagement with Torah, comfortable even when we're uncomfortable. You help us find that meaningful connection, even when we aren't looking for it. And I've watched you do this over and over again with a 13-year-old B'nai Mitzvah student or with one of our most learned Torah study regulars in his 90s. You open our eyes, our ears, and our hearts to our very sacred tradition. You allow us to ask crazy, odd questions, and you make that okay. You make it possible for us to see the beauty of our sacred text and its teachings in our everyday life. Quite simply, we've learned from you that all that is solidly good in the world and everything good we believe in comes from learning, living, and loving our Torah. So getting back to our Jewish goodbye, we actually have a remarkable parallel here. As you have taught, there is no end, no goodbye in our lifelong engagement with Torah. We complete each parshot, each section, every single Shabbat, just like we'll do tomorrow. And we return to it again and again. And each time we learn something new, we see a different perspective, and we deepen our wisdom. Your process and your patience help us get there with kindness, your humor, and your love. At a recent Shabbaton, you explained to us that our tradition insists that Jews have a collective responsibility to take care of one another. It's an intentional, connected, communal system, you explained. And we are that system. We are partners with each other and with God. So, thanks to this wonderful system that we all live in, we've had the privilege of sharing our most intimate times of our lives with you. Many public milestones and many private moments. But let's be honest, because of our wonderful system, it makes this goodbye really, really hard. But I know that we, and I know that you, would not have it any other way. Rabbi Keller, you will always remain in our neshama, the very deep soul of this congregation. In the essence of our tradition, with this Jewish goodbye, it is our prayer that just like our Torah, we, this big CBI family, we are not fully leaving you, and you are not fully leaving us, ever. We will always be here to return to each other again and again and again. So from deep in our hearts, thank you for helping us learn, and thank you for helping us grow. We are honored to be partners with you in God's blessings. You will always be our dear Rabbi, and you will always be our beloved friend. Ronnie, Lisa, Aviv, and Lior, our Jewish goodbye is not goodbye. Lehitraot, dear Keller family. May you always go from strength to strength. Shabbat shalom.
Good. Oh, hi everyone. So this is not my speech, so I might be able to get through it without crying, so we'll see how it goes. This is from Aaron Lieberman, and have been instructed to read the entire thing, so bear with me. Hey Marin, thanks for reading this for me. Wish I could be there tonight, but please read everything verbatim, including this part. Pause. Don't say pause. Say pause. Pause. Now actually pause and find my parents in the audience. I'll bet you $5 that my dad is laughing and my mom is rolling her eyes. I don't know where you guys are. Oh, hi. See what I did there? I started a speech with a seemingly irrelevant hook that on the surface has nothing to do with the actual point. Now, if I was as brilliant a sermonizer as Rabbi Keller, I would tie it all back to my hook at the end. Most of his great high holiday or camp sermons start this way. I think one time Rabbi Keller began a high holiday sermon talking about Safeway. I don't really remember the connection or the takeaway passage, but I remember the Safeway part, so maybe this tactic didn't really work after all. Wait, is this supposed to be a roast or a heartfelt goodbye? Well, in typical Rabbi Keller fashion, I'm going to take some creative liberties and just do both. For those of you here tonight who don't know me, my name is Aaron Lieberman. Not me, Aaron. That's Aaron speaking. I've been a member of CBI since I was in diapers. I was a religious school student from kindergarten through 8th grade, was a Madrachim and Sunday school song leader throughout high school. Shout out to Stacy, my favorite Rosenthal. Marin, are you still reading this verbatim? and spent 13 summers as a camper, counselor, and administrator at Camp Stein. This is the part where Brian Mitchell turns to the person next to him and goes, "Hey, where's my shout out?" To sum up my CBI experience, I spent most of my time roaming the back halls of this building, distracting all of the many staff, notably the man of the evening, Rabbi Keller. If anyone here is in a similar boat, I think you'll agree that the best part of spending one-on-one time with Rabbi Keller is the quality of conversation. I'm sorry, did I say conversation? I meant candy, the quality of candy in his office, which was always better than everyone else's, except Stacy's, but her office is in the other building, so it doesn't really count. Okay, enough with the jokes. I'm sure someone has made a joke tonight about Rabbi Keller's lack of hair, and that's too obvious, so I'll skip it. If no one has yet, Marin, feel free to ad-lib on the spot one right now, which I won't do because I do think it's overkill. To me, this has always been one of Rabbi Keller's most endearing and memorable traits. No, not his baldness, but his ability to weave obscure references, humor, wisdom, and Judaism into every conversation. The greatest gift I've received from the CBI community was the ability to develop my leadership skills and make a difference from a young age. As a 25-year-old recently out of college, there are at least half a dozen college juniors and seniors in this community. Some of their parents are likely here tonight who would name me as one of their role models. It's undoubtedly what I'm most proud of. When someone calls me a role model, I think of all of my role models, many of whom are in this room, and one has played a significant role in my life for many years. I could go on forever about the countless ways Rabbi Keller has positively impacted my life, but my feeling is that most of my sentiments will be adequately covered by others here tonight, so I'm only going to mention two. Marin, hold up 2 fingers so everyone knows I mean the number 2, and 2 seems like a small number, so people will say, So people will get excited that my stream of consciousness nonsense is almost over. Say stream of conscious nonsense 5 times fast. Just kidding. No one wants to hear that except maybe Rabbi Keller because he is quirky in that way. The first moment that stands out was a sermon Rabbi Keller was giving to camp staff years back about people who convert to Judaism. He explained that most of us, because our parents are Jewish, are Jews by birth, while individuals who went through the effort to convert to Judaism were held in especially high esteem because they are Jews by choice. Rabbi Keller encourages us all to be Jews by choice and to lead with dedication in our Jewish values. While his sermon had literal impact in the moment to embrace our Jewish identity and lead as such, it has stayed with me ever since. Live your life with a sense of purpose, mission, and dedication. Every action, thought, and dialogue is a choice. So choose wisely, always be a leader, and make every moment a teachable moment. My campers always joked that I had a lesson behind everything, and they were right, because I knew how impressionable they were and how everything I said would be scrutinized and analyzed. I always took and continue to take time to make as many moments as possible teachable moments, and I have Rabbi Keller to thank for that. The second significant impact Rabbi Keller has made on my life is my continued connection with Judaism. Early in college, I came out as gay to my friends and family. I was very fortunate that everyone close to me had a positive reaction and fully supported me. While I was still nervous about how I would be seen by my Jewish community, one of my earliest and most vocal supporters was Rabbi Keller. He embraced the news and always bugged me about when he could meet my boyfriend. Rabbi Keller not only explained but demonstrated that Reformed Jewish community would embrace me regardless of my sexual orientation. During my 13th summer at camp, I was surprised on a Saturday morning service with a talit for my camp bar mitzvah. It was signed by all of my friends and campers and was lined with many colors, beautifully made by Heather Glavinsky. While Rabbi Keller wasn't able to make it up to camp that weekend, he had Rabbi Kahn read a personal message from Keller to me. Rabbi's note read, "When God prays, God also wears a talit. God prays draped in a rainbow for a talit, so whenever we see a rainbow, we imagine the prayer that God is uttering. As you wear this talit, may you be enveloped in love and appreciation of all those people whose lives you've touched, and may it guide you through all your future endeavors." While most of the camp community was not aware of my sexual orientation and did not make the connection between my rainbow talit and the rainbow as the symbol of the gay community, that was just part of Keller's aura. Cleverly connecting my life to Judaism from hundreds miles away while making me feel loved and appreciated. The stigma is that most of us lose our connection to religion in our 20s and come back in our 30s when we start having kids. The issue can be exacerbated if your religion doesn't align with who you are or what you believe. Through his teachings, actions, and our friendship, Rabbi Keller has always made it easy for me to be a Jew by choice. To me, being a Reformed Jew is easier than almost any other religion because I don't have to compromise or wrestle with my religion teaching me one thing while my heart or my brain believe another. Rabbi Keller and Judaism embraces me, and I in turn embrace Judaism. Rabbi Keller, thank you for the lessons, the laughs, the memories, and you have made a lifelong impact on me and so many others in this community. You will be greatly missed. Now go enjoy the humidity and Miami football. Shabbat Shalom, Aaron Lieberman.
If you're out there, Aaron, thanks.
Are you actually doing the cell phone thing? Because we have live stream and video. Is he watching right now?
I don't know. He didn't tell me he was going to do this. He called when I was on the way here and said, "So what are you guys doing tonight?" So he knew.
Maybe he's watching. Randall.
All right. As usual, I'm following Aaron. So why stop now? Shabbat Shalom. My name is Randy Burke. I'm Jackie and Lance Cohen's son. They are not here tonight. They're in Cleveland right now visiting Lance's mother and for some other stuff. I've had the distinct honor and privilege of learning with Rabbi Keller for his 13 years here at CBI. When Rabbi Kahn asked me to write a little speech, I couldn't decide whether I wanted to tell stories or share fond memories or speak of what Rabbi Keller means to me or whatever, so I decided to do the rabbinic school thing and try to combine them, and we'll see how it goes. So my connection with Rabbi Keller began when I was in 8th grade on the Los Angeles trip. Mind you, I'm not counting all the times she took away my phone or disciplined me at Sunday school. I'm just kidding. That was Stacy. She did that. My friends and I were being led by Rabbi Keller and Stacy Rosenthal to Los Angeles on the annual 8th grade trip. For whatever reason, on that trip, I had never experienced the chilly and sweet sensation that was a coffee bean iced blended. Rabbi Keller, being the sarcastic man that he was, told us at the coffee bean that we were at before our trip to Disneyland that this was the only coffee bean in the world, except for every other coffee bean and the one on Tatum and Shea right down the street from the synagogue. So, the inside joke that ensued was every other coffee bean we went to was the only coffee bean in the world, except for every other coffee bean in the world. Many years later, as a confirmand, Rabbi Keller told our class that we could call him by his first name after the confirmation ceremony. This was a big deal. Normally, that would have been an honor because I was excited to be on a first-name basis with Rabbi Keller. However, when the moment came to call him Ronnie, it just didn't feel right. It felt like seeing your teacher outside of school and just that weird, I don't like it. It makes me feel weird. He would always be Rabbi Keller to me. During my senior year of high school, I was given the opportunity to serve as the Biddy president. And as the high holidays approached, I was asked to give a speech to the congregation about my recent trip to Israel on Camp Stein's big trip. After I gave my speech, I returned to my seat on the bema next to Rabbi Keller. To his left sat Rabbi Kahn, and next to Rabbi Kahn was Rabbi Wiener from San Francisco. And I believe it was Lisa that pointed out to my mother, look, there's Randy sitting next to his rabbi and Rabbi Kahn sitting next to his. If you recall, that was the same service that Rabbi Keller received a standing ovation for giving a speech, giving a sermon after his brain surgery. The lesson I learned that day was that every rabbi has a rabbi, and Rabbi Keller will always be mine. Rabbi Keller is the type of person who not only pours his heart into the work that he does for others, but always makes himself available whenever someone needs him. There was one time that every single member of my family was texting him simultaneously, not knowing it. My mother, my father, my sister, and I were all texting about something different, and he was answering. It was the weirdest thing. I always felt comfortable coming to Rabbi Keller, to ask him questions, to talk to him, to receive guidance and mentoring during my time in junior high and high school, throughout university, and now going to rabbinic school. He was actually the first person I told about my acceptance to HUC, much to the chagrin of my mother. You were second, don't worry. Last summer, Rabbi Keller and I were leading trips to Israel. He was on the congregational trip, and I was leading Camp Stein's big trip with Jesse, Lynn, and Jason. And when Rabbi Keller came to Israel, we met up at a coffee shop outside of Tel Aviv right after he landed. He briskly walked up to me. He embraced me with the most powerful hug that I had ever received and gave me the strength and perseverance that I had needed in such a trying time. He didn't say anything. He didn't ask me how I was doing. He didn't ask me what I needed. He just came up and did what nobody else had done. He just came up and he hugged me. And that got me through the rest of the trip. As I conclude, allow me to speak briefly about the Jewish people. The Jewish people get it. We get it. Especially in a holy community such as the one at Congregation Beth Israel, we share a sense of respect, of camaraderie, of intuition that is challenging to understand and even more challenging to explain, but you all know what I'm talking about. Rabbi Keller gets it. He's a manifestation of the intuition, of the courage, of the respect, and the love that is ingrained in the atmosphere at this holy community. He has been so supportive of the religious school, of Camp Stein, of Mayan, of Biddy, and touched the lives and hearts of so many CBI members ranging from all ages. Rabbi, I have nothing but respect, admiration, and love for you. As you prepare to leave for Florida, I want to make you a few promises. First, I will always keep learning. I promise to always do that. I promise to always ask why. And I promise I will never be where I'm supposed to be. Although you are embarking on a new journey after your 13 years here, you are our rabbi. You will always be our rabbi and hold a special place in our hearts. I love you very much, and I will miss you terribly.
Take your time.
She said she wants me up here. Oh, okay. She said she wants me up here.
And as usual, I'm following Randy.
Ah.
So,
You don't have to say anything else. That was just perfect.
So I guess you're pretty liked. You can see that, or, you know.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah?
People just heard there was food.
Yeah,
I think.
that's the Jewish way to go.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, before I say a few words, our family has a tradition where we give you funny hats.
It's true.
Yeah, and so I would like to gift you with a squid hat because who doesn't need a squid hat? And I don't think you've had one yet, so here you go. It's official.
Thank you. I inked.
Rabbi Keller, just so you know, none of us really want you to leave, but we understand that you have to take this opportunity because you can't be an associate rabbi forever. Personally, I think we could make that work, but that's a discussion for later. And we all know that you will have lots of bad hair days in Boca. During your time here at Congregation Beth Israel, you have been a rabbi, a teacher, a mentor, sometimes a therapist, a friend to many of us. You have been a part of baby namings, brisses, b'nai mitzvot, religious school, consecration, confirmation, weddings, illnesses, funerals, Camp Stein, mitzvah days, Lata Ken trips, LA trips, holiday celebrations, Torah studies, Purim spiels, and many Kiddush luncheons and onegs. I'm sure that I've left out a few things. I know that I can speak on behalf of the entire congregation when I say thank you for all that you have done and for being such an important part of our CBI family. You have personally taught me about what it means to love the Torah and Israel. You have taught me about what I can get from Judaism and what I need to give to Judaism. I have learned about Gemilut Chasadim and Tzedakah. I've eaten the best hummus and the best falafel in the world. Woohoo! And those can only be enjoyed in Israel. You have taught me what it means to be a part of a Kehilah Kedoshah. For all these things, I am grateful. We will all miss you and think of you often. Instead of goodbye, we will say lehitraot or see you soon. I would like to leave you with some lyrics from Green Day. It's something unpredictable, but in the end it's right. I hope you had the time of your life. I love you, Rabbi Keller.
I'm looking forward to your ordination, so I can see it there. Okay?
As usual, I'm following Maddie Garber. Excuse me. It's a custom, a tradition, and a very holy thing to do to honor a rabbi with words of Torah. And so I wanted to begin before we call Ronnie up and sharing a few words of Torah in honor of him. As you know, this week's Parsha is a double Torah portion and ends the book of Leviticus. V'har b'chukotai is a very, very random set of teachings that bring together the holiness code of Leviticus, otherwise known as Brit Kohanim, the book of the covenant of the priests. And in the last passages of Bahar, the first part of the double portion, the Torah teaches that Moses tells the Israelites the following: count off 7 Sabbath years, 7 times 7 years, so that the 7 Sabbath years amount to a period of 49 years. Then have a trumpet sounded everywhere on the 10th day of the 7th month. On the day of atonement, sound the trumpet throughout your land. Consecrate the 50th year and proclaim liberty throughout the land to all its inhabitants. It shall be a jubilee year for you. Each of you is to return to your family, property, and to your own clan. So one may ask in reading these words, what's with all the counting? What's up with the number 7? Should we draw some deep spiritual significance from the number 7? Are Jews inherently bad or good at word problems? What's the function of Yom Kippur within the counting of the sabbaticals? Did our ancestors really need to give back all of their slaves and all of their land that they owned during the Jubilee year? And most importantly, why the words, proclaim liberty throughout your land, throughout the land to all its inhabitants? Why were these words selected for the Liberty Bell when it was commissioned in 1752? Finally, why give this counting now? But there is a significance on many levels in Moses' instruction concerning the counting of years. Moreover, in prescribing this mitzvah of the sabbatical and jubilee years, nearly 40 years before one single Israelite had set foot in the land of Israel, let alone own the land on which they were going to live. In other words, this mitzvah is given 90 years before the first jubilee year, 40 years before the Israelites enter the land. Why did Moses do that, say that, and instruct that to a generation who wouldn't even live to enter the land themselves? Rabbi Keller and I love to read and use and quote from Rabbi Jonathan Sacks, the former chief rabbi of Great Britain. And in his commentary several years ago, he suggests the following as a reason for all of this counting and all of this numerology and sevens and 50s. And he says the following, teaches the following. Implicit here in these passages is an important principle of leadership. As individuals, we count the days like we are right now, counting the Omer. We count days. But as leaders, we have to count years. As private persons, we can think about tomorrow, but in our role as rabbis, we must think in the long term, focusing our eyes to the far horizon. Who is wise, Pirkei Avot says in the name of Rabbi Ben Zoma? Who is wise? It answers, one who foresees consequences. Leaders, if they are wise, Rabbi Sacks continues, think about the impact of their decisions many years from now. The leadership challenge of Bahar is count the years, not the days. Keep faith with our past, but your eyes firmly fixed on the future. I'll be right back. And so, Ronnie, it is with this idea in mind from Bahar that I begin sharing a few thoughts. On that day, in April of 2004, when I spoke to our teacher, Rabbi Richard Levy, who was then the director of the rabbinic program of HUC in LA, when we first began to discuss, and this, by the way, was the second most important conversation with Rabbi Levy that I had, the first being when he asked me to be the intern at USC Hillel. This was much more important. When we first started to discuss the first ever rabbinic intern for CBI, and he said, I've got a guy for you. Ronnie Keller is his name. in that moment, I started thinking about tonight. Right here and now is where I went. Because I wanted to pay it forward. I wanted you to have an experience as an intern of being part of what it means to do what we get to do. And as I was entering this new chapter of my life becoming a senior rabbi, I felt so grateful and so blessed to Rabbi Aaron Pedikowski and Rabbi Ray Zwerin and Rabbi Marty Wiener, and to share with Israel in San Francisco and Temple Sinai of Roslyn and Temple Sinai of Denver. I was so grateful that all I could think about was, in that point, a year from then, what it would look like, but here we are. And I have come up short of their exemplary menschlichkeit and their commitment and their intellectual capacity as rabbis and teachers, but I am nonetheless so grateful to them tonight because I had great mentors and great rabbis. And I knew when Richard said your name that whether it was a year from then or 2 years from then or 13 years from then, that this moment would happen, and this tie-in from the past to the present to the future, that which we call Jewish time, Jewish math, would happen. What I did not know was that you would not only be our rabbinic intern for a year, but for 2 years, and then you would become our rabbi, my rabbi, for another 11 years. You see, counting provides us with this cosmic perspective that what is here and now and the years that are to come and the experiences that we haven't even had yet, are all entwined. Surprising, uncertain, filled with awe, and most of all, filled with a sense of hope and wonder and love. But the lesson is always to think toward the future and to stick to the plan, and then to let the plan change. One of the most meaningful emails, letters I've ever received was from your mom. Right after the email went out that you were leaving, your mom said this to me in her email. I'm not going to read the rest of it, Rachel. She said, I remember like it was yesterday what you told me, this was to me, at Aviv's Brit Milah. You said, your son is like a brother to me. He can stay here as long as he wants for at least 12 more years. That's what it means to think about the future, not the days, not the weeks, but the counting of years and of cycles. Counting, that cosmic perspective, is filled with all of the hope and the wonder and the awe of what it is that we've been able to create together, and I give you credit for creating above and beyond my wildest dreams what the vision is that we've shared for this congregation. And so on this night, I just wanted to mention, in conclusion, the 7 things that I will miss about sharing this bima with you. Time out. There it is. I know, I should turn the lapel mic off before I do that. I am going to miss your laugh. It is loud and obnoxious and annoying and so from your gut. I do like making you laugh, but I love it when I hear a Ronnie Keller belly laugh. I'm going to miss that. I will miss overhearing your birthday calls. What rabbi on God's earth would call every member of a 700 family congregation on their birthday? And I want you to know, someone said to me the other day, will the next rabbi, the next associate or assistant rabbi make birthday calls? And I said, no. That is not only Ronnie's thing. No other rabbi I have ever met or will ever meet would do such a thing. But that's you. I'm going to miss our arguments, the ones out loud and the ones without speaking. We know how to push each other's buttons so well, and you are so annoying And that leads into the next thing I'm going to miss. I will miss Ronnie walking into my office, closing the door and saying, I think I know you pretty well by now, and I know something's not right with you, so please tell me if there's something I can do to help and what's going on. It is very lonely what we do sometimes, and I've had my share of experiences here, and you're the only one I can talk to because you're the only one who gets it and gets me. Our members, our beautiful, beautiful members, many live day by day. We have to live with the future in mind. And so in those moments when I have felt pain, you're right there. I'm going to miss Lisa and Aviv and Leor very much. I love it when they run into your office at the end of the post-after school, let's go get candy from Abba's office after preschool, and now when Lisa brings them over to see you and hang out with you after their days at Pardes. Lisa, you are, without a doubt, one of the funniest people I know. You are quick and brilliant and witty and sarcastic, and I love it. And Aviv and Leor, you are beautiful boys. And you are smart, and you are sweet, and you are your mom and your dad, and you are so lucky. And you are yourselves. I'm going to miss Ronnie's passionate commitment and his incredible integrity, which I am envious of, and his vision for our religious school and our camp and Israel and Zionism and Jewish learning and living. It is an inspiration. And Maddie, to see you up here saying those words is heaven. And it is because of the influence of our dear Rabbi Keller. But it's also a little bit who you are too, a lot. And I will miss the kvelling, not just tonight, but the countless times that members and non-members and guests and visitors and campers and kids and adults tell me how wonderful and how kind and how smart and warm-hearted and funny and loving you are. I will miss my kvelling. It happens all the time, and it makes me feel so good. So I knew this time would come. I'm going to go back to them now. I knew this time would come. And in the spirit of Bahar, I knew that the years would fly by as they have. 7 of 7 of 7. I cannot imagine. In the spirit of Bahar, I know that everything in life is temporary. Whether it goes back to its original every 7 years, everything that we feel like we own that is ours is not ours. It is temporary. People come in and go from our lives. Ronnie and Lisa and the boys were a temporary, blessed gift to our congregation. And we are so thrilled as to where they are going, but mostly for what they are doing. So in the spirit of Bahar, I acknowledge and embrace that all things are temporary and not permanent. But nonetheless, I share in our communal sadness. I can't imagine standing on this bima without you, Ronnie. I can't fathom leading High Holy Day services, especially on Yom Kippur, with the jokes and the jabs and the ongoing commentary that we share during those few moments that we get to sit down at the same time during that 12-hour day. I cannot imagine the thought of experiencing great moments of pain and also moments of pure joy without you checking in on me. I can't imagine how blessed I am to call you my friend and colleague and my brother. But what I can imagine, and what I know in my heart, is how very lucky your congregation will be, your community will be, to have Lisa and you and the boys. You are now family with them, and you know how to do it so well. That other CBI in Boca Raton Congregation, they will always be the other CBI. Congregation B'nai Israel in Boca Raton will be changed forever for the good, because you will become their rabbi in a few short weeks, and yay for them. And so, Ronnie, Baruch Tiyeh, be a blessing. You are a blessing. So just be yourself. Amen.
No, that's right.
That was pretty funny.
Yeah.
Take the box.
I'm going to take the box with you.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. That was fun. Yes. No, it wasn't.
I am overwhelmed, and I've been overwhelmed since the possibility of me leaving this place. It's been very overwhelming. A lot of people have asked me how you're doing, and my answer is bittersweet and overwhelmed. And so I'm going to thank you 1,000 times when I speak to you, but thank you for being here tonight. Thank you to Gail and to Randy and to Marin/Aaron and to Maddie, the next rabbi in line. And of course to Rabbi Khan for those words. I feel very blessed to be up here and to have my family here, have my wife and my kids and my mom and my in-laws and my dad and my stepmom watching on live stream from Florida. So I feel very blessed. In my 4th year of rabbinic school, you heard this from this side, I awaited a call from the school director about my year-long internship. I was all set to intern in Los Angeles. And I had already started chatting with the rabbi in LA about how I would be his intern. Then I got a call that I was going to actually be flying out of Los Angeles and into Arizona. Lisa had to check the map to see where that was exactly. Not once, but twice a month. And I was shocked. I was one of the few students who was married, and Lisa was less than thrilled to hear that I'd be gone so often to fly here. I tried to switch internships, but my director wouldn't budge. And I tried to calm Lisa by saying, it's okay, it's just 1 year, 1 year in Phoenix, and we'll never have to hear about it again. 13 years later, here we are with you in the desert. The desert is a fascinating part of the Hebrew Bible and the Jewish people. When we think desert, we conjure up images of Passover and slavery, Israelites wandering the hot, sandy terrain. Deserts can be desolate and vast. They can be treacherous and empty. And of course, they can be dangerous and void of life. But my time here in the desert, here at CBI, has been anything but these usual characteristics of a desert. For the last 13 years, I have felt enriched and welcomed and loved and challenged and fulfilled. This desert is unlike any other. As Rabbi Khan mentioned this week, we read a double portion of Behar and Bechukotai. These are the last two Torah portions in the book of Leviticus, the middle book of the Torah, where we learn and connect to the Israelites as they camped and learned about the sacrificial system and how to move from a slave mentality to a people. The desert initially seemed like a terrible place for the Israelites. But upon looking deeper, the desert was the best thing that ever happened to the Jewish people. It was in the desert where the Israelites became a people. It was in the desert where the Israelites learned about Judaism and became a Kehilah Kedoshah, a holy community. And I feel like being here in this desert has shaped me as well. It was this desert that empowered me to grow from a student into a rabbi. This desert helped make me into who I am. While here at CBI, I started as simply the rabbinic intern, sometimes called Erev Rabbi Keller. Then as the intern who was the religious school director. Then as the rabbi who was the religious school director. And then as the assistant, and then the associate rabbi. We have been through a lot together, like Maddie said. We've been through the births and the deaths and the weddings and the namings and the B'nai Mitzvah and the birthday calls and the sickness and the conversions and the laughter and the tears and the aha moments, the full gamut of the annual cycle of holidays, lots of learning, more than a dozen summer at camps, and dozens of bagels. My cup runneth over with emotion and appreciation. You welcome both Lisa and me from the moment we arrived here, with dinners and introductions and love and support. Lisa and I realized that the two of us arrived here with 2 pieces of luggage. That's it. And now we leave with 2 boys and a full house of stuff and years of holy moments. To this magnificent congregation, thank you for giving me the honor and privilege to be part of your lives. Thank you for allowing me to share in the precious moments that make this place a holy place. To the board of directors and Gail, I can't thank you enough for the support and the unwavering trust you put into my hands. You all work so hard balancing your jobs and your lives and your families, and still always find time to be present and prepared, on time to every committee meeting, executive meeting, board meeting. Whether combing through the budget or brainstorming the next big synagogue event, you always are present. We as a staff are not as appreciative as we should be for all the 7 days of devotion that you give every week to CBI. So thank you. Through your devotion and through your love and through your care, CBI is indeed a holy community. And there are so many people to thank but I won't possibly be able to mention everyone. But as you sit there, every single one of you, please know I'm thinking about you and appreciate every moment we have shared here at CBI. Throughout the service, I've been so blessed to look out at all of you and think at all of the conversations we've had and the moments we've shared and the times we've cried together or laughed together. So thank you. I do want to mention a few people specifically. To the entire staff of this to this place, I will miss you the most. You are the reason I love showing up every day. And I can't imagine going to work and all of you not being there. Kathy, and Iris, and Colleen, and Amy, and Heather, and Jackie, and Jane, and Ben, and Linda, and Catherine, and Courtney, and Sarah, and Hannah. And to the guys that you barely see, but make sure that the AC is running, that the carpets are vacuumed, that every single event that we have here has tables set. To Gustavo and to Alfredo and to JR and to Dominic and to Jose. I've also been blessed to work with and supervise, only on paper, 5 of the most magnificent people who all work tirelessly in the work of the Jewish people. Ari, no-brainer of who should be the director of this preschool. Someone who knows and loves the families and the kids, who gives of her heart and her soul. The future of the Jewish people is safe in your hands and in the hands of the magnificent preschool faculty. The work that you do literally sets the foundation for our children's Jewish identity development. You are the gifted sculptor of these little people's Judaism. I will miss Tat Shabbat and asking you where you've got that Shabbat feeling. Brian, there was a lot of time and energy put forth in working to make Camp Stein the premier camp in the Southwest. It could not have been done without the perfect person, and that is you. Your expertise and your energy and your conscientious organizing and your far reach into the nationwide camp community and initiatives has literally put Camp Stein on the map. The Jewish identity building for campers and staff and admin and families sits perfectly perched on your shoulders. You're not just a great juggler, but someone who seamlessly balances the business and the fun of camp. It's easy to see that you love what you do, and this place is blessed to have you on the team. I will miss our warm hugs. We don't warm hug. That's why it's funny. Marin. The heart You are the warmth and the love and affection that emanates through all aspects of camp. You are the camp staff dream, someone who grew up through the system as a camper and a staff member and now director. You are the quintessential role model. Your insight undoubtedly has guided and will continue to guide the lives of so many campers and staff, and truly all people who know you. I know you will continue to infuse people's lives with your warm heart. You are a true gift to camp and to this whole community. I will miss your lightning fast absorption of Hebrew and our deep and meaningful conversations. Jesse Lynn. I have never met anyone who can walk into a new place and immediately make an impactful difference. A difference in kids' lives and the lives of so many families. Your organizational skills are unmatched, and your elegant ease in which you do everything is admired by all who know you. I will miss our check-ins and being consistently inspired by your insight and instinct. I am often in awe of how you navigate every situation. You let your soul lead you into everything you do. As the youth Pied Piper, you bring that perfect blend of Jewishness and cool and accessibility to everyone, particularly to our youth. When I was installed, I went through the list of all the staff and thanked them, and I forgot Stacy. So I remembered her this time. On your first day as the religious school director, you brought in your little lamp that you put on your desk. And from that moment on, when you brought in your own lighting equipment, you changed the entire atmosphere of the religious school. And I knew that you were, and this place, through you, was destined for greatness. You have transformed a simple program into a diverse, dynamic, Jewish, bright, and energetic educational environment that now spans through the 12th grade. I will miss planning and staffing the LA trips, cleaning out the book room in preparation for the new school year, and of course, working to enhance curricula year after year, while balancing 435 work-related things, a beautiful family, and a full-time job. With many fabulous teachers, you also managed to get a master's degree in Jewish education and expand youth educational programming throughout the whole synagogue and nationally. Your extremely hard work is evident in the connections throughout the youth department. With all the holy work you do, knowing you, this is just the beginning of your work. What do I say to a mentor, a friend, a brother, a boss, Shaka, Khan? Genghis. You drive me nuts. Nuts. No one has ever pushed me more, or frustrated me more, or taught me more, and protected me more than you. From day one, you were looking out for me. Thank you for sharing the Bima so generously, for continuing to put your trust in me, and for empowering me to learn and to grow and know that I had a partner. I will miss our impromptu banter in the office, but mostly on the Bima. Our timing has become impeccable. And we can usually finish each other's sentences. I will miss the smell of popcorn wafting through the office, walking into your office without knocking, especially when you had a do not disturb sign up. So good. You don't understand how good that is. It's so good. And the frenetic, spastic energy in the building. I will not miss your inability to throw candy wrappers in the trash or the frozen tundra temperatures that emit from your office and into this congregation. Thank you for your support in making big decisions and for making sure that I was in the know about everything. Thank you for trusting me with the holiness of this place. And of course, for looking out for me and my whole family. Always. When I had my surgery. We've been through ups and downs together. But I take with me the lessons that you have taught me. But only the good ones. Your vision and your wit and your intuition are the building blocks of this place. Thank you for sharing that with me. Thank you to the spouses and the kids and the grandkids of all of these incredible people on our staff for allowing us to borrow them day after day and keeping them away from you. And speaking of spouses, Lisa, there's no doubt in my mind that I could not have done any of this without your love, support, guidance, wisdom, and counsel. You poor thing. You had to read every High Holiday sermon 9 times, every eulogy, and almost everything I've ever written over the last 13 years. It never went unnoticed that Aviv and Lior were always tucked in bed with their lunches made night after night when I came home from a meeting or a class. Thank you for being my wife and partner and editor and support system through sickness and health and through my ever-changing crazy hours of work, night and day. I love you. You all in this desert have been so gracious to me. Thank you for strengthening me and, like the Israelites, empowering me to be the person and rabbi I am today. I have been honored to be part of this holy place. I will never forget all the meaningful, fun, challenging, and rewarding moments we've shared. Thank you for allowing Lisa, Aviv, Lior, and me to call this place our home. Shabbat shalom.
We're going to do two more things, and I promise we're going to conclude the service. I've asked everyone from Hever Torah study, to join me on the bima with you right now so that they can read our traditional Kaddish de Rabbanan, our rabbi's Kaddish, not because you're dying.
Thank you.
This is the prayer that we read. This is a small but mighty group of weekly Torah study participants, and they are offering these words of blessing to you. The Kaddish de Rabbanan, the rabbi's Kaddish, was said at the conclusion of a tractate of Talmud, and written probably about 2,000 years ago. And so it is more than appropriate for let's put it this way, Ronnie and I feel the same. You're impeccable, a wonderful group of people, and we would not want to study Torah as frequently as we do with anyone other than this group. So if you guys would all take a moment now, I know Rabbi Keller would love to receive these words of blessing. Amen. And now I'd like to, while they're all hugging it out, I'd like to invite Lisa and Lior and Aviv to join with us on the bima. And Ronnie's work family as well. I'd like to ask members of the CBI staff, our team who are here, to please join with us on the bima so that I can, on their behalf, ask for God's blessings on the Kellers, on Ronnie, Lisa, Lior, and Aviv. And everyone in the congregation, please stand because we are going to open the Aron HaKodesh for this. Rabbi, come on over. Brian, Courtney, come up closer. I want the staff to surround them. It was once said that Ronnie is my work wife. And Ronnie, therefore, has many work siblings, I guess. I'm not even going to go there. Lisa and Lior and Aviv, this group of people standing around you and your Abba and your beloved husband at this time are the people that keep him not with you. And it's their fault. When you want him to read you a bedtime story, it's their fault that he's not there. No, I am kidding. Your Abba, if you've learned anything from your Abba, it is that being dedicated to not only you two and Lisa, but being dedicated to a group of people who share his life also. You guys are amazing for sharing him with us. And we are so grateful to you for all the sacrifices that you make so that your Abba can be with us here. And so I am going to ask for God's blessings, especially for Aviv and Leor and Lisa, that you have a safe trip, that you know you are going with love of this synagogue and of all of your friends at Pardes, and all of your CBI friends, and that you are loved, and you are always welcome here, and this will always be your home. And I can't wait to see you back here for Isabel's bat mitzvah, because your Abba has to lead her bat mitzvah, of course, and for Brian's wedding, because he wouldn't miss that, and for many, many more smachot, only good, happy occasions. Okay, no inside jokes. I'm blessing your family.
Sorry, Brian, I'm coming to your wedding.
Jeez. Yehi ratzon mefanecha Adonai Eloheinu v'lehav avotenu v'imotenu. May it be your will, O God and God of our ancestors, that you lead the Kellers in peace and help them to reach their destination in peace, safely, joyfully, and with our love. May you, O God, protect them on their leaving and on their return. May you rescue them from any harm. May you bless the work of their hands. And may their deeds, their so many deeds, merit honor for you, O God. Baruch atah Adonai, Shomer Yisrael la'ad. Praise to you, Adonai, protector of Israel. Amen. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May God bless you and protect you. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'yichuneka. May God's countenance be lifted upon you and be gracious to you. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May God's face always shine upon yours as your faces have shined upon us and bring you joy and health and holiness and awe and shalom, peace. Amen.
Amen.
I did it. All right.
All right.
Group hug. We are the world.
Hey.
We are the children.
Hey.
I can hear all the faces right here. I'm shaking it. Shaking your armor.
Yeah, about there we go. They're very happy.
Thank you for everything.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, let's go drink.
Here's one.
Everyone, please remain standing for Aleinu as we conclude our service. Actually, please have a seat really quickly. Right before we close our service, Carol Seidberg is here to share a couple of announcements. Please be seated, and we're going to go right into Aleinu, I promise. Thank you for indulging me and us. Please be seated. Go ahead. Hang on one second. Let me turn that on for you.
Anyway, after this absolutely magical and momentous and evening, we still have mundane announcements, so forgive me. Please join us tomorrow morning for Torah study at 8:45 a.m. in the Bendelin Conference Room, followed by Shabbat services at 10 a.m. There's nothing like a summer filled with fun, friends, and laughter at camp. This summer, CBI's Camp Simcha is thrilled to continue serving campers from infants through 4th grade, with sessions running from May 22nd to August 4th. For more information, please contact the Channon Preschool office. Our Shavuot Yizkor service will take place on May 31st, 9:30 a.m. here at CBI. Please note that the synagogue offices will be closed that day. If you are worshiping with us for the first time, please make sure that you find one of our board members. We're wearing our name badges, so that we may have the pleasure of introducing ourselves and wishing you a Shabbat Shalom. Finally, a note about this evening following services. The Shabbat portion of the evening will continue in the ballroom. At this time, we are at capacity for dinner and are unable to accommodate anyone who did not register online by the May 14th RSVP deadline. For those who did register, please note that the dinner is a buffet-style meal with open seating. Again, Shabbat Shalom to all of you, to the Keller family. I did it without crying. Anyway, again, enjoy the rest of the evening together with the Keller family.
I just want to give a special shout out and statement of gratitude, Shabbat Shalom, to Rabbi Tracy Rosen, who's with us, one of our dear colleagues and partners in Melton and Torah study, and covers for us for services. It's great to have you here. Rabbi John Linder from Temple Solal, here with his beautiful wife, Nancy. John, I know you had services tonight, and I knew you would do the right thing and run over here. And for those of you who don't know, Rabbi Linder is texted both of us this morning and wished us Mazel Tov, and he is a gem of a human being and one of my dearest friends. Is Rabbi Sidi Rubin here?
No, but I think Marty's here.
I do. Rabbi Sharf. Well, Rabbi Sharf's here all the time.
Mm-hmm. It's true.
I'm sorry, Marty, for taking you for granted. Rabbi Marty Sharf, I want to welcome back Erev Rabbi Taylor Pozlowski, who just completed her first year in Jerusalem at HUC, and it was about a year ago this Shabbat that we said Lehitro to you, and she's back, and successfully completed her first year of study. Paulina Morris, Erev Rabbi Paulina Morris, who is completing her first year of study, and Randy, of course, B'Hatzlacha to you. And I think Jason's probably going to watch the live stream. So we are
in
so
Israel.
proud.
He's in Israel. Yeah.
Yes. We are now concluding with Aleinu and Kaddish, page 586. Together we stand. Tonight we are doing the short version of Aleinu. So no Shehunot Shemayim. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol latet gidulah. What time is it? 8? Is it 8? Shelo asanu v'yaratzot. I thought it would go 2 hours. That's about right. כמשפחות האדמה שלא שם חלקנו כהם וגורלנו ככל המונם ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים בפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. On this Shabbat, we share our deepest sympathies as we note the passing of the following people who were recently laid to their eternal rest, whose families observe Shiva and Shloshim. Janice Brown, mother of Lauren D. Faye Menton, mother of Melissa Myers. On the Shabbat, we remember those of our congregational family whose yahrzeits occurred this week. Victor Abelson, Jacob Becker, Carrie Bendelin, Ramona Bodell, Norbert Breyer, Abe Chester, Ray Colbert, Carol Delman, Beatrand A. Diamond, Norman Drockler, Harold C. Dubman, Herman Flegenheimer, Adolph Fuchs, Rose Gamsu, George Golden, Jacob Goldstein, Bernard Goodman, George Goodman, Bernice Greatman, Charles Green, Anna Haberkorn, Earl Hahn, Toby W. Hardy, Minnie Hill, Morris Horowitz, Jerry Kahn, Charles Karp, Stanley Klebe, Isidore Klein, Theodore Krause, Mary Kruglich, Clifford H. Leopold, Milton L. Levy, Joseph H. Miller, Ethel Perlstein, William Perlin, Elliot Peskine, Abraham Polk, Harry Robbins, Al Quinones, Morris I. Rubenstein, David Russell, Seymour Schneitman, Nate Siegel, Leo Seidberg, Robert Siegel, Louis Smith, Mildred Spindell, Philip Starr, Lucille Susan, Marcella Swab, Martin Taylor, Alan J. Waxman, Edith Wolf. If anyone would like to say out loud the name of a loved one he would like us to take into our hearts with our own, please say their name at this time. Every Shabbat, we also remember with love and affection the 6 million who perished in the Shoah, including the 1.5 million children who have no one to say Kaddish for them, and the soldiers and civilians of the state of Israel who have given their lives for our Jewish homeland. May all of their souls be bound up in the bonds of eternal life. Together we join in Mourner's Kaddish, page 598. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbi, v'yamad ivrach irutei v'yamlich machutei, v'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael, v'agala v'yisman kari v'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabba mevorach le'alam le'yomei almaya. Yiparach v'yishtabach v'yipa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei d'kutsha brichu. Ve'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama Rabba min shemaya v'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mramav huya aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May the source of peace and peace to all who mourn and comfort to those who are grieving, as together we say amen. We'd like to invite all the kids up to the bima under the age of our bat mitzvah to help lead us in the short kiddush and motzi tonight. Short kiddush while we sing our concluding song. Hava, Hava Nashira, Shir Hallelujah, Shir Hallelujah. Last verse. Hava, Hava Nashira, Shir Hallelujah, Hava, Hava Nashira, Shir Hallelujah. Baruch atah b'voecha, Baruch atah b'tzeitecha. Rabbi Keller, Lisa, and the boys, may you be blessed in your leaving as you were blessed in your coming from this place, and may we all continue to be blessed by everything it is that Rabbi Keller and the Keller family has done for our congregation, the door vador for the generations to come. Amen. Short kiddush and hamotzi, and those with dinner reservations, please proceed immediately to the ballroom and have a great time. And to everyone else, Shabbat Shalom. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei pari hagafen. L'chaim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. Shabbat Shalom. Let me give you a little bit more. I give you a kind of small piece there. Well, it looks like you haven't eaten in years. How you doing, handsome? I didn't see you in a while. There you go, my friend. Here you go, guys. Challah. You want some challah? Amen. Shabbat Shalom. Little bit more. I give you a kind of small piece there. But it looks like you haven't eaten in years.